How are you, madam? How are you, sir? And I'm here to prove to you that it is true. I've written books. It's one of the books I've written about money. Money, nobody told me money can take me or could take me there. Where there? I have not said where. But what I know is it can take you to jail. It can take you to. It can give you good life. That is the road to good life. It's also a road to jail. Yeah, I've seen the jail here. And even too much money also can take you to your early grave because you have failed to manage your money well, so that it takes care of your health. Today I want to, why I have brought the book is because I want to tell you that one of the things I have talked about in the book is about early financial literacy. I want to say that I believe students or schools should teach about money. Money matters. They call it money matters. I'm told that in China they do that early. Yeah, but here in Kenya we teach algebra. Algebra. You ask me a question about algebra, I will get a 0/0 or whatever. They teach us some things that are not relevant, and yet they want to employ us with those things they call certificates. Certificates that will do nothing. Even when I get employed, I don't know. Anyway, I'm here to tell you that my belief is that financial literacy should be taught early in school. It should be taught to young adults before they start learning it in the streets or when they become adult, and they learn it the hard way through debt or through mistakes. Yes, and it would mitigate the cycle of costly errors, financial errors. The money management should be a life skill, just like reading and writing. And if it is a life skill, then it should be taught to us early. Many young adults, they fall into debt because of lack of that knowledge. They don't understand how loans work, how credit cards work, how interest rates work, those annual compound interest they keep telling us about compound. I have no clue myself. And and financial literacy would help them avoid unnecessary debts, bad financial decisions and stuff. When we grow up and become adults, we are called here, there by everybody. Come and pick a loan, come and pick a loan. You'll only pay this much. Just like insurance, but they don't tell us. I remember somebody told me once that they sell insurance, but they don't teach insurance. I believe it is the same with the banks. They sell loans, but they don't teach you how it works. What if you had learned these things early in life? Remember, a financially literate person is less likely to struggle with debt. Financial literacy also, I want to add that it will encourage smart saving and investing. Remember, you cannot invest what you don't have, so you have to work, save, then invest. But if you work and then you spend everything, what do you invest? And remember, you are still growing old. Retirement age is coming. What will happen? What do you eat when you grow old? And before I move from that item of savings, and then A country that does not save is a poor country. And the saving I'm talking about here is saving what I have, save what you have. If you read a book called Rich, is it Rich Man or Rich Boy, Poor Dad? Rich Dad, Poor Dad, yes, that book. It will show you easily how to save. You first of all save you at the first 10%. But what do we do here? We get money, the first thing we do is pay rent. And then we go drinking on a drinking spree. And then we set aside a few shillings here for madam and the kid. Then we save the rest. There is no rest. It is all gone, even before the second or the third date of the month. So that book teaches us about saving fast. Okay? So yes, when people or the citizenry of a country save, the country will not depend on external loans because it has its own savings. So it will develop from the savings from within. In fact, you'll have less higher taxes. Taxes are normally high because there is no money. People are not saving. But then the cycle is the same. There is no saving because you have little money. Why do you have little money? Because you are not taught about money and how to create money and how to manage money. Remember, these are all my beliefs. So if I'm wrong, I'm just telling you what I know. And the favorite item I want to talk about is, mention is saving or financial literacy breaks the cycle of poverty. Look at this scenario. Parents educate through hard work. They educate their kids. They go to school, they learn history and geography. The purpose here is to send them to work. Fortunately, they get job. They are employed. The cycle repeats. They have their kids. They have no savings. So they have not created any wealth. They start working the hard way, harder to take their kids to the best schools, okay, where the issue of money is not taught again, okay? So when are we ever gonna be rich, create our own wealth? So your original parents will die poor. You will die poor because yours was only working. Remember, getting a few or eating well a day or two or driving a car, that is not wealth, my friend. That is just money that is temporarily in your pocket and it will go. It doesn't make you any richer. Haven't you ever had pesa ya zamani wanasemanga aje? Old money and new money. Okay, we are talking of old money, creating your own wealth so that the cycle of poverty is broken, either broken or mitigated. And remember also, when we come to stress, one of the greatest contributor of stress is finance, mental health. Couples quarrel because of money, because of stresses in their relationship created by or brought about by poor finance or management or something like that, because they do not understand budgeting, things like that. How do you budget? How do you save? How do you determine or discern what to save in a circle, in a bank, under the mattress or something like that? We need peace of mind to lessen stress. That is why we need financial literacy early enough. And the last one I would like to mention is about the encouragement of people should be encouraged to be entrepreneurs for economic growth. We cannot all be employed. Who is the employer, by the way? Who has employed the employer? How did he start the business so that you are employed? The Kenyan government has employed. During our time, we were less than 200,000, including the armed forces and everybody. Now I hear it's about 900 to 1 point something. And what is the population of Kenya? 54.5, as I record this. Then, and you reckon you you have learned enough to be among those employed. Think of something else. You need to be an entrepreneur. You need to create your own wealth so that you. Why can't you also become an employer? Okay? You can't because you are not taught in school. But if you are creative enough, because there is also something called being ingenuity or create. You are so creative that or innovative. By the way, innovation is running on other people's ideas, and it's okay as long as you are not copycatting the same thing. But with early financial literacy, I believe it will encourage entrepreneurship. And if all of us were to do that, then economic growth would not be a myth. It would be a reality. Now, I want to conclude this narrative by saying, by repeating that financial education early in life is crucial, so as the citizenry of the country or the populace is able to navigate through this complex financial world instead of just doing it blindly. As such, schools must equip students with the knowledge to manage their money wisely, avoid debt traps, and build a secure future. But before managing their money, the starting point is creating money, manage their money through savings and wise decisions in investing. And so that siku hizi kuna kitu inaitwa pesa za wazee. Imagine if all those wazees had learned about money, they would be having their own money. The government would not be going into tafuta pesa ze. And now this one, I like this one because this is the question that I'll leave you with. Do you want to become a mzee to one day queue for pesa ya wazee? Or a mama? But the mzee is both. Both, is it? Yeah. Do you want to queue for your pesa one day? Think hard. If you are not taught about money in your school, then look for books. Poor dad, rich dad, they teach. See you another day. Cheers.